What's up, guys? This is Hands-Free Gaming here, and today we're gonna be doing like a nuclear option type of long tutorial. We're gonna be playing the BDF as on Escalation. Those are just like the default settings, but this will be more of a long form video. And I'll just be talking about like the different strategies I'm using and the different kind of like ways I view it. This is just PvE we're gonna be doing. I haven't played PvP in this game. I'll have to give it a shot, but whatnot. But yeah, so let's get started. We're gonna start as BeQuiet. We're gonna do the South BeQuiet General. This is a pretty common strat you see, but it's like one of my better strats. You get a lot of money from it, and it's a good strategy. But so essentially, what we're doing right now is I'm gonna keep the eyeballs there and go. Excuse me. Go minimum fuel. And we'll just get started. So usually some units are right here. They kind of come down the road, and then there's like a little forward operating base, kind of like what we have on our side. I don't believe anyone spawns on our side really. They do, but it's very limited. And then there's also going to be two Shard class Corvettes over here that we're going to focus. So the pretty basic premise right here is that we are at the forward operating base. We have a munitions truck and a bunker right next to us. We're going to be shooting those eyeballs over there, just so it spots everything. The eyeballs are super useful, super underutilized, I feel like. But it's a really good strat just to get money and that kind of thing. And you got to spot everything too, so they'll fly like pretty much forever until they run out of juice. But yeah. We're gonna go over here, land, and yeah, there we go. So I was doing this earlier, and there was kind of a bug I encountered, and I don't know if anyone else has encountered it, but no matter how much you like try to resupply or respawn, you just like don't get any, like, they just don't reinforce you again. So I'm not quite sure what was going on with that. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait a little bit until. We're actually just gonna land. We're gonna have to wait until a little bit until they kind of get further along. If we try to do it right now, it's not gonna work because they have a bunch of cover around, like the anvils right here, and then the SAMs and that kind of stuff. I'm gonna shoot another eyeball, or a couple eyeballs, just so they spot them. It looks like we're over there, so I'm also gonna move closer to my desk because I'm sitting pretty far away from it and it's kind of getting uncomfortable. All right. So we're gonna start shooting them off. The idea is that you don't actually have to be exposed to anything. It's kind of a cheap strat, but just keep shooting eyeballs, just keep shooting your AGMs. Eventually you'll get all of them. And the nice thing is that we're over here right next to the munitions bunker and the munitions depot, so you can just get rearmed pretty quickly. Anytime you destroy a vehicle, you get a lot more than what the munition bunker costs. And even when it is destroyed, like you also get money for intercepting. Or when they intercept you, you also get money. It's the same with strata lances. I don't know if you guys noticed that if you're intercepted by strata lances, it'll also do the same thing, which is nice. But look at that, we're already rank 2. So this is a go-to strat for most things. I know I'm kind of just yapping on, but I'm trying to keep it more engaging. It looks like a couple just with the building, which can happen a lot. Bit unfortunate, but oh well, there's not much we can do about it. Besides just make sure we don't hit it again. But yeah, there we go. Okay. So there we go. Once we start eliminating more and more of the vehicles, it'll become a lot easier. They have way too much to focus on in terms of like they're actually fighting the other APCs that my team is giving, and then they also gotta worry about all these missiles that are coming towards them now, so. I think that's mainly why this strategy works so well. And then a few seconds over here after this next couple of volleys. I'm gonna select some other targets for opportunity, just like mainly the forward operating base is the biggest one that we need to worry about. Because it'll just keep spawning tanks and that kind of stuff, and that's not something we really need. I'm gonna do one more regular volley just because I have 6 targets, so that'll be 3. Like, yeah, like 3 missiles per target, or around that, so. That's how math works, but yeah. So we're gonna keep doing this. It's gonna be pretty boring at the start of the game, I will say. But once we do get like past this initial part, it does become a lot easier. Looks like they're trying to throw some missiles at us. I'm gonna do one more actually, just because I want to get the one tank, I believe, off the bridge. That should do it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get into a position where it rearms me. There we go. Sometimes you kind of just have to move the mouse around a little bit. I'm playing MNK, and that's been really useful, honestly, but I know people play HOTAS with it, but it just feels like a lot more, you have a lot more options with like MNK, it seems like. HOTAS is really cool, I want to get one, but I just see so many different things about like, oh, HOTASs aren't, you know, there's like different build qualities and that kind of thing, and they're expensive, and currently my desk can't even really have a HOTAS on it just because of the way it's designed. It would be hard to, you know, have that capability. Yeah. So we're gonna keep doing this. And the main thing is just trying to get all the defenses. Oh, we look at that. We got an MRAP coming up. MRAP isn't too big of a threat. Eventually, the missiles will start to overwhelm them. They will run out of money just like that, and we just destroyed a bunch of stuff. Got a bunch of money there. 16 mil from just that, like, little onslaught. There's gonna be one more thing. I should have waited until the MRAP was destroyed. Usually it only takes 1 missile because it can't actually defend itself against missile threats. But I believe it's 1 or 2 more salvos. There's an Anvil, FGA-57 Anvil. Those ones will absolutely, if you're not quick enough, they'll just sit there and continuously fire at your missiles and take them all out. So you gotta make sure you're taking them out. There we go. So we'll keep going with this. It'll take a couple more minutes. I usually like to be done by the 10-minute point. Yep, there we go. So the last thing is just an anvil. It should be pretty simple. Maybe 1 or 2 more volleys. Last volley isn't going to hit the anvil directly, so it's going to hit around it. It looks like it's not even really intercepting that many. Yep, it looks like that's done. Okay. So hopefully these missiles get that. I'm not too worried about it. I believe yeah, we're gonna have to do a couple more volleys, it looks like. It's unfortunate, but oh well. Not much we can do about it. And it looks like more APCs just showed up too, so we'll just get destroyed. Or we'll go ahead and destroy everything that we see. Looks like it's probably from the back lines that these are showing up now, so a bit unfortunate that we're spending so much time doing this, but what can you do? So we'll keep slinging some missiles over. The anvil's gonna intercept all of them, but oh well. Eventually, I believe that does also run out of ammo too, but it has so much ammo that like it doesn't make that big of a difference. So it looks like the APC's died out, so we're just gonna keep sending to the anvil. Sorry if I sound a little bit stuffed up. I'm having a lot of allergy issues right now. The seasonal allergies will get to you. What can you do about it? But we're just gonna keep doing this. Looks like a brawler is also engaging the anvil, so I'm assuming after this one, or a cricket, I believe that is. Assuming after this one, yep, there we go. So now we gotta focus our attention against these short corvettes. I like to focus one corvette at a time. You can focus two, but the issue with focusing two at the same time is that they have so many munitions that it becomes... you're only sending about 9 missiles per like ship, and at that point their point defenses can intercept them. We're mainly looking to saturate their like Ram 45 launchers and their radar systems. Eventually you will be able to see that, like we will get them down. Right now they're pretty close to the Strata Lance launcher, and so that's why it's still getting interception. Eventually they will start to run out. They'll have to reload their launchers, especially with the ships. I believe once they get up to about 7 kilometers is when we actually start doing some more damage, and they have less and less time to engage the missiles. But yeah. So this part takes about 10 minutes too. It should be done ideally by like the 25-minute mark, and that's when naval reinforcements, you'll get a notification about that. Usually will be in 10 minutes, but don't quote me on that. Sometimes I'm wrong about that. So. But yeah, so you want to get rid of these ships though pretty early on in the game. They kind of will just wipe out this entire base. One second. They will just wipe out the entire base. It becomes really difficult. Eventually we will lose this base just because of the missiles. You can see how the missiles are getting closer to the ship now. Yep. And there we go. So once we eliminated that one, just move on to the second one. We got lucky that both of them are showing up. I believe that's because we have some units over there exploding or something, but sometimes they don't show up at all, and so you have to use a couple eyeballs. Or like the eyeball Mark IIs to kind of see where they're at. But yeah, if they don't show up, then definitely use the eyeballs. But yeah. So this one shouldn't be as long. This ship usually doesn't take very many because it's already expended a lot of its munition on just the other ones. They're currently facing us, so it's like they only have a couple of weapons, like the Ram 45 and I think the gun on the front to engage us, or to engage the missions, excuse me. Otherwise they're kind of just stuck in the water. If we were side on, they would have like the miniguns and that kind of stuff, but they don't, so. For now we're just going to keep shooting the missiles out, keep landing, keep rinsing and repeat. We'll get about 300 million just from doing this alone, taking out 2 corvettes and then an forward operating base, as well as with the convoy. We do get a lot of money and XP from that. So yeah, you can see the missiles are starting to reach the ship icon. You can see the little blue icons. And you see now that they're not really intercepting any of them, like, you can't see any missiles, like, coming out from the ship, so we've completely saturated them of their ability to target long range. So right now, yep, there we go. So we're gonna get out of this now and go to something else. Next big one is going to be eliminating a bunch of the Strata Lance launchers around. That'll kind of get rid of their ability to respond to anything, so we're just gonna purchase the Medusa, and this is a really good strategy, just like in general. And terminal control is really good. The issue is that you have so many different, kind of like that one. You have so many different like ships that it's hard to just jam. We're gonna be jamming the radar sites. The Medusa's passive ability allows it anytime it's getting pinged, it updates on data link, which is really nice. So any radar that decides that they want to take a look at us will be able to see them. We kind of see where they're going. So like right now, a bunch of these are updating. There's 2 radar sites like MSVs over here, and then 1 over here, and those are the only ones that can engage like nuclear pile drivers and that kind of stuff. I believe the what's it called? I believe the yep, there we go. So that one just showed up, so we can now start engaging. I'm gonna send 2 over, and then switch to our jamming pod. Yeah, once you get rid of all the MSV radars, there's actually very little threat against the nuclear weapons, like the pile driver 20 kilotons, and so we'll be exploring that option once we get rid of these. By then it should be pretty good. It looks like we're making good time too, about 16 minutes into the recording. So yeah, we'll kind of just watch. You can see the missiles take a random path and that kind of thing. Sometimes they will get intercepted by the line breaker SAMs and that kind of stuff, but they are going so fast that it's really difficult for any kind of line breaker or point defense to really catch up to it. The only one that would have been able to is the Strata-Lance, and it looks like a line breaker did just intercept that missile, which is a bit unfortunate. I believe there should be another one somewhere. Oh, it barely just intercepted that one too, so we'll go ahead and send another 2. I wouldn't worry about getting locked, because once you jam the radar, the semi-active homing missiles won't be able to do anything. The SARs, you can just jam the radar that it's firing from if you can find them quick enough, and then for the active homing radar ones, you will have to actually jam the missile itself. It's very effective too. So unfortunate that those 2 didn't get on, but we only really need 2 left for the other 2. From my experience, the other sites aren't as heavily defended or closely defended. It looks like one of them is definitely going to get through, from what I can tell. Yep, there we go. So it looks like both of them actually got in, which is very, very well. So we're going to kind of fly this way now, kind of get ready for engaging the second set of radars. So we have one here, I believe. Yep, there's the radar, and then there's another radar right here. Yep. So we'll switch to the ARADs again. Again, this is a really good strategy. Not as good on terminal control, and I'll do a full video on that one too. But just because on terminal control, the map is, you're often engaging at very, very far distances, like beyond 100 kilometers, so it's very hard to find the actual radars. Well, finding them is the easy part, but actually getting into a good solution and range. There's always going to be carriers on terminal control, which kind of mess it up, but we're just going to kind of take a look at the kill feed and take a look if we get intercepted. It's hard to kind of make out the blue from the red over there. I'm not colorblind or anything, there's just a lot going on over there, so. Looks like the missiles are getting pretty close to their intended targets though. It looks like we will be successful. Oh, it looks like an anvil just intercepted both of them. Unfortunate, but not much you can do about it. It's unfortunately a really bad showcase of the potential of doing it. See, we picked up SR, just jammed the radars. I know exactly which radars are shooting us. The only radars that would be able to get us from here are these 2 MSV ones. So we'll have to go back and land and refill. We'll send about 3 missiles each time, just so the chances of an anvil intercepting them are pretty low. But yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, though, this is a really bad showcase of the potential of this. I've had runs where you essentially just like everything goes perfectly, and it's really nice when that happens. You save a lot of time, you save a lot of kind of resources, so when you do want to get the nukes out, you're not wasting as much as it. But it's a really good strategy too with the Alcyon. Notice with the Alcyon though, I mean, it is a very expensive aircraft. It's like the most expensive in the game, I believe, at like 325 million. But the Alcyon's good with that respect, but it's just like by the time you get it, it's a lot later in the game, so it's harder to justify
raise gear
using it for that purpose. But it's still a good option. It's really good on terminal control where you can there's a lot more ships to engage. Looks like we've accidentally, okay, there we go. Yeah, okay. We were just kind of hovering there for a second, but oh well. I'm gonna kind of come out at an awkward angle here, but that's okay. So ideally we would have wanted to be done by the time that showed up. We're gonna make sure we try to land on the strip. Yeah, there we go. Looks like we did break one of our landing gear legs, so it's a bit unfortunate. Nope, it looks like we're good. I thought we did. The way the aircraft was rolling around kind of made me think that we did. We're gonna have to get close to these trucks. I know there's a way to disable the auto vectoring, but I really wanted to because it's very inconvenient, I'd say. Let's see if we're close enough to the trucks to get refilled. Yep, it looks like we just did, so. Alright, we're gonna send about 2 missiles per target. Excuse me, mouse sensitivity issues, but yeah, we're gonna send 2 missiles per target now, just because we weren't super successful last time. We gotta get over this mountain before we do that, or the missile's just gonna hit the mountain. We won't be able to jam, so. Yeah, I mean, usually you wouldn't have to land there. I think it's because usually they aren't very good at intercepting the missiles, so I'm just kind of getting screwed over in that sense, but oh well, what can you do about it? But yeah, so we'll go over here. We're also going to kind of fly in this area just so we can spot more targets. There are 2 objectives here that we want to spot too, just so we can get those done early. It is a long play, and hopefully these don't get too far, but yeah. We're gonna start jamming now. Still looks like we don't have a clear sight of the other one. It'd be a waste of missiles if we try to, but looks like they just captured this strip over here, which is totally fine. We're not too worried about it. You can honestly get rid of the laser when you're doing this too. Not sure why that's not getting jammed yet. We might just be at an awkward angle. We'll go ahead and reselect them. There we go. We'll get rid of this missile and then send 2. And then we're gonna kind of deflect off towards the side so we don't fly too close to their base. brakes. We don't want that. You can actually drop the throttle a bit too. Also, make sure you're never flying directly at the missile. The missiles have inertial guidance too, so they'll eventually, if you're just flying a straight line, it's gonna not be very well. Looks like we got both of the radars, so that's good. We're gonna go on to this final radar over here. We're gonna keep an eye out. We'll take a look at this one right here, the radar station. We'll try to get rid of as many radars as we can. We can't actually jam this radar, I don't think, because it's not a radar that locks you. It just kind of resolves people, does its own thing. But yeah, you can see how fast the missile is going. It's going Mach 4 right now, which is crazy fast speed. There's very little things that can actually intercept that when it is going that fast. They took out all these other radars just because they kind of get annoying. It won't spot you on data link or anything. Looks like we picked up an IR. No worries, we can just do that. And we're gonna keep kind of maneuvering around. Looks like another IR. Luckily we have a pretty low signature for the most part. I would ideally like to be higher so we stop getting spiked by IR missiles, but yeah. But that's the perk of being at like 50% throttle. Your engines are pretty much non-existent in the heat form. So yeah. Picking up a lot of IR, which is okay, not bad. If we were higher, we wouldn't have to worry about it so much, but even though that red EXO is up, it's just saying that, yeah. Let's see, well now we're detecting a lot more units. It would be unlikely for an IR missile to be able to get this far up, but I want to flare just to make sure. It looks like they are kind of getting pretty close. So yeah. We're gonna keep flying around here, kind of bait out their missiles, see what's over here. Yep, so we have the other objective is like the vehicle depot. We're gonna have to bug off pretty quickly here, just because we don't have that many flares anymore. I'm not too worried about that missile. We're far enough away that it would be pretty unlikely for it to be able to hit us. It looks like we spotted everything. It is getting pretty close. Once it gets to within that 1 kilometer range, I might... Okay, there we go. So it looks like we spotted all of our objectives. On the interest of time, I'm actually just going to J out here. Or eject. I know it sounds crazy, but... oh well. Alright, so now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and select the... we're gonna do the SFB-81. I just forgot what it was called during the Dark Breach. Little known fact, I didn't notice this, but if you remove both of the inner and front ones, you can actually put up to 8 pile drivers. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're gonna send this one just to support our troops, and then we'll go about like let's say 15% fuel. You don't really need a lot. What we're doing. We're gonna select. Ooh, it looks like we actually did capture this base, which is pretty interesting. I've never had that happen before, but okay. That saves us a couple nukes. I would have likely liked to find more factories over there, but we'll just have to select these two, and then we'll select this one as well. So that's 3, 4, and 5. 6, 7, and I guess we can kind of nuke the... We'll actually put another one over here, actually. We'll put 2 more over here, just because I've had issues in the past where it somehow gets intercepted. Yeah, so we're just gonna be doing the long play. It's my favorite strategy for beating this game, honestly, or winning as the BDF. I've never had the ship actually be able to capture. Looks like we just lost another airport. Hold on. I've never actually had the ship actually capture the island over there. That's kind of a new thing I've seen, but that's pretty cool. Usually we would send a nuke over here and just destroy everything, but it looks like the ship is there. We could do a resupply run for it, and that'll help a lot once the naval fleet shows up. But yeah, and the out of arc thing, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yep, there we go. So we'll go in third person just so you guys can see. And I guess I could have taken out that MSV radar, and that might have helped achieve a higher succession rate. There shouldn't be anything else up though that would be able to. I think we neutralized all the Stratolance launchers for the most part. It's kind of a cheesy tactic, but it's a valid tactic, honestly. We're also destroying a bunch of objectives too at the same time, so I found it works pretty well, and brings the time down pretty quickly. We're just gonna land. It might be a bit of a rough landing. But if even taking like 5% fuel, I just noticed we only went down a fuel percentage. Having low fuel definitely helps in those situations. I wouldn't say... I don't think there's any reason to take like a bunch of fuel at this point in the game. But yeah. So we'll get out of his. We don't want to accidentally stock up on more missiles, or nuclear ones at least, so... Okay. And so what I think I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put on 2 jamming pods, maybe? It's not super effective just because as you go on, they kind of... Actually, I don't think I'm gonna do that now. I think about it. I'm gonna go back into Medusa and kind of use the other strat to take out some more ships around the area. But I was gonna do that, but then I remembered we actually captured this airfield, so which is pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and do a resupply for this gun. So we'll do a naval supply, and then it can be extra light for this. We're only dropping some supplies off for this guy, so... We'll actually get rid of this line breaker Sam, just because I don't want to instantly die when we get up.
Left fan failure. Left engine failure.
We'll do that. It looks like we did take a direct hit, so we'll have to just land and... And then we'll go back. Alright, there we go. So it doesn't look like there's anything else up. Just gonna shoot us immediately when we get up, which is nice. Could take out this one too, which might not be a bad idea. We're out of range, so I guess we're not doing that. So we'll select the naval container. I don't even think I'm gonna put in my gear. Looks like this guy beached himself, so oh well. I don't know what Looks like our missiles just hit. And boom, we've just completely crippled their ability to respond to us. So yeah, that's a pretty valid strat. That's one strat I like a lot, is just nuking like the main objectives. It doesn't look like there's anything else that they can really do at this point. I think when the nukes land, it looks like we do have the carriers coming up, so we'll go back into Medusa and kind of try to neutralize them for the most part. But you see we have over $1 billion in funds, so we'll just do that. If you wanted to, you can try to intercept the nuclear missiles. I haven't had very much luck doing that though. But yeah, I mean, so I still take the internal laser mount because it doesn't really do anything for your weight or anything like that. Seems like if you select it or not, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we'll go ahead and select the carriers. I thought I was spotting error at this one. Kind of a risky play. Yeah, not much we could have done there. It seems like we're getting... It's weird that there's a Medusa like just chilling here, but oh well, not much about it. Hopefully this Corvette. Alright, that Medusa is going to be a pain in the ass. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it from long range. Oh, we got to make sure we're selecting the right base though. There we go. I guess we can hit it with the ARAD. Just kind of screw it over, but we'll go ahead and do that. Honestly, it's kind of being a menace to our team. So yeah, let's get in the range right up there, and then we'll jam it. I don't think we can actually jam Medusa now I think about it. Oh, I think we can. No, we're just behind a mountain, so we're not in the LOS of it, some might say. Yeah, there we go. So now we're gonna jam it. I don't know if that ARAD has the good enough maneuverability to actually do anything about that. Looks like it's about to get taken out by some other missiles, but almost. I think it is about to. Yeah, it's about to get hit by something. Yep, it just got hit. I'm pretty sure. Yep, there we go. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we're actually gonna take out the Shark Corvette too. Because we're coming out of the front aspect of it, it's actually gonna not be able to intercept us, I believe. I think some of the other missiles or the carrier might be able to intercept it, but oh, there we go. And then now all that's left are these. we'll jam these guys. Yep. Oh, so they might just get nuked up straight, because it looks like one of them nukes is getting pretty close. Oh yeah, there we go. So it looks like that absolutely just destroyed that. We're gonna select the chaos for it. It's getting a little close for comfort. So there we go. We'll start jamming that missile. Active homing radar so we can jam the missile itself. It's a little bit harder, but oh, looks like we did that, unfortunately. There we go. Brings up the camera thing. We'll do that again. And then we'll send 4 ARAMs, I believe is probably a good amount. Oh, I'm not looking at the right place anymore. Oh, it's because I selected the effort. So it looks like we're being targeted low. Yeah, this effort is trying to engage us. We're just not going to have it. We're going to keep flying behind him. Oh, I forgot to send the rest of them. But, yeah, I mean, the A-Rods are very maneuverable. They're very fast. Probably the best ship killers out there. Okay, so it looks like we just sank the shard class, or the got sank. Not much we can do at this point. We can kind of just jam it. It looks like this guy is still on our 6 and is kind of being a menace. We're gonna jam him and turn, just so he has a harder time trying to getting a gun solution. We're gonna head back to base. Not much reason to stay around here. This guy's trying to do everything he can against me, but looks like there's another guy. We'll keep jamming the radars. We're gonna have to go to full speed now. Looks like this guy's trying to get a gun solution. We're not gonna have it. I'm gonna jam both of them and just kind of hold them the fuck off. That's part of my language, but do some evasive maneuvers just because I'm getting pretty close. Essentially just forcing them to get close but then get away. I might just J out here soon, but we'll see if we can get him again. Back to the base.
Right engine fire. Left engine fire.
Looks like it was successful after all. Really annoying that they decided just to single me out. Oh well, not much we can do about it. Alright, the last thing we need to do is destroy some aircraft factories. We'll go into Albion and it was pretty quick. And I don't think we're going to take anything on the outer wings. We'll do... We'll do Tuscos, I believe in radar actually. Now that I think about it, it would be good. We'll go like 75 or so. This game is pretty much over though at this point. There's not much the enemy can do. We've completed most of the objectives, so these FRS were very obnoxious though to deal with, but oh well. Looks like we have a big line of different bombers and Medusa coming out, so that's pretty cool. We'll turn off our radar here. Yeah, but in that situation with the FRS, there's not much I could have done there. I have a laser, but like it's not going to do anything against the aircraft. So that was a bit unfortunate. We'll wait a little bit until this Medusa goes off. So the objective of this is just kind of get high and fast. Tuskers will help with that. It looks like there is a ship still there. We could have destroyed it, but I'm not too worried about it. It looks like something's... Oh. Looks like this cricket's about to get got. Oh, no, never mind. I think they're pretty far away now. It looks like there's still an airbase over here somewhere, it seems like, because I can't think of another reason why there would be aircraft still coming from there. Yeah. And just like that, we've defeated most of everything that we need to worry about. We'll get rid of these two. Line breaker sands, or maybe it's bull strike as well. I think yeah, that is a sand radar. We're kind of out of range of it, but we'll jam the radar, but we'll just give the other twos some Tuskos to think about. Tuskos are really good, especially on the dark reach. You can take like 24 of them, I think, which is a crazy amount of supersonic missiles, but we're going to try to get up to about 10 kilometers. That's where you want to be. There's not much anything else can like really do against you at that range. There's not really any SAM sites that will be able to get to you. We actually didn't need the radar jump. I don't know why I chose them. Looks like we're being resolved by said aircraft. Looks like they recaptured the airfield, which is a bit annoying, but there's not much you can do about it. We'll go ahead and destroy that airfield if it becomes an issue. Looks like we picked up an active one. It's probably a site. Got lucky there. We were able to jam that radar. I don't think I'm gonna actually jam the bull strike, it doesn't seem like, but right now the objective is kind of just to still gonna keep flying though, just to try to see if we can spot these factories. Factories are kind of getting annoying.
Engine 1 fire, Engine 2 fire, Engine 3 fire, Engine 4 fire.
Looks like we were able to spot them, so we'll drain out.
Stall.
And yeah, that's becoming an issue with having all the Ipperites and that kind of stuff, vortexes. So we'll go ahead and get into Dark Reach and kind of neutralize the issue. It doesn't look like we have any nuclear weapons, unfortunately, but oh well. We'll use pile drive. Actually, we'll use Tuscos just because you can take a bunch of them. And they have pretty good range for the most part. Go ahead and select these. Once we destroy these factories, though, it is pretty much wraps for the enemy team, and it looks like it is just one factory. So we'll go ahead and do that. Looks like they're a bit out of range, though, so that's okay. Yeah, I usually like to go full throttle. I have my throttle down button as the same one as my brake one. I've never had an issue where I needed one over the other. Coming up on about an hour, 51 minutes or so on the recording. But this is kind of just to show you, like, it doesn't have to be like take an hour. I mean, unfortunately, they did recapture this airfield, and I think it's because the Shard Corvette died and they still had units on it, so I'll have to keep that in mind for the future. Yeah. So we'll get up to speed. Once we get up to speed and higher altitude, we'll be able to anything. Make sure your radar is armed when you're in the Dark Reach. There's no reason you should have it on, really. It doesn't have air-to-air capabilities. There's not really any point to leaving it on because it kind of reveals your location like a Medusa will be able to see you. I mean, the AI Medusas will see you regardless, but anytime they get pinged, you get updated on the data link, so we're kind of coming in the range now. I'm going to try to get over this mountain. Give our missiles a better chance of going. I'm going to try to go for about 55 kilometers or so. Yeah. Even though I am American, I do like the kilometer better for some things. I think the speed is definitely better in kilometers an hour, just because you kind of know, like, once you hit that 1200, you're at Mach 1. And then I just don't really know what it is for miles per hour. I'm sure I could look it up, but looks like we're coming into range, so we'll go ahead and fire the Tuscos off. There we go. And hopefully that should give us the game at this point. This is actually the fastest I've ever completed this game. Usually things go wrong. Like you saw, a lot of different things went wrong earlier, but we managed to pull through and fix and kind of learn from the mistakes that we made. But oh well, sometimes you just get unlucky and not much you can do about it. We don't actually have to destroy the enrichment plant. It's mostly just the airfields and that kind of thing. Yeah. I'll also make another video on terminal control. I think that's where a lot of people kind of get stuck. I think the early game especially is difficult just because it's hard to get enough points to really do or make an impact on the mission. Yeah, terminal control is a bit harder. I mean, it is the final mission in the game, but we'll go ahead and land here.
Raise gear.
Look at the map and see what's happening. Yep, looks like we're missing something. I'm not quite sure what we're missing at this point. The only thing I can think of, yep, we gotta neutralize the base. Bit unfortunate that we're kind of dragging this out at this point. I would have liked to be that to be it, but because we have to neutralize the base, there's not much we can do. We'll go ahead and get another full load of Tuscos. We'll resupply at this one and have to turn around, unfortunately. But something I should have paid more attention to. I mean, this game would have been over if I just kind of looked at that and made sure that everything was off the base. I think it was actually the APC down here that caused an issue, so oh well. We might have to get into Alcyon or something like that to take out the Shark Corvette, but I'm not quite sure why we're not getting resupply here. We'll move up a little bit, maybe. Okay, it's not letting me resupply for some reason, so we'll have to go back and redo it. Alright. A little bit annoying, but hey, well, it is what it is. Trying to think about what I want to do. GPO 500 is really good, but I think we're just going to use the Tuscos just because they can get there a bit quicker. Yeah. So I mean, we've already captured most things. I think the airbase is really the only one that's kind of stopping us. We could go for the nuclear enrichment plant, but I don't think that's technically a win. We're gonna target the Shark Corvette. That's gonna be the biggest issue, I think. Let me just drift the Alcyon. There we go. Bit annoying that we have to do this. I should have neutralized the base with a nuclear weapon instead, and just kind of set the pocket. But oh well, what can you do about it? I didn't think that they would keep spawning over there. That's something to keep in mind in the future. I usually do put like at least 2 nukes over there just to eliminate any kind of chance of the AI kind of retaking the base. I think I just got super unlucky because one of the things over there was a Medusa and that, what's it called? A little APC thing. And so that kind of screwed us up a little bit. I thought my machine gunners would be able to, you know, go ahead and take it out, but oh well. So again, we're going to climb to about 10,000 feet. That's a good range for the Alcyon, I believe so. We're going to give this guy 2 Tuscos, just so we can kind of make sure he's not going to be an issue. Again, kind of focus on climbing. We're going to climb in kind of a diagonal direction so we're not flying directly out of base. But those missiles are also really good. They're going Mach 4. I wonder if I could take more ARADs, but I don't think I can. So we'll just do 2 Tuscos. The Alcyon is really good for like kind of jamming stuff and playing like this, but it does lose the capacitor quite quickly compared to the Medusa, which is something to be aware about. We also have our radar on, so we'll go ahead and disarm that. It's a bit too late at this point, but might as well try to fix the issue. As you can see, we're getting radar pings. I believe that's a bull strike that's pinging us right now. We'll keep looking at it, make sure, see if they get intercepted by anything. I doesn't seem like anything's trying to intercept them. Seems like this ship is kind of screwed. Yep. Alright, so from here we'll go ahead and select all the hangars. Didn't mean to select that. That's really obnoxious that it's still making me. I don't believe we actually have enough missiles for this, but that is more. Send them all.
Stall.
Looks like the Hyperion is still up, which is pretty amazing. I thought it was something in a while. Could just be drifting. We'll go ahead and just I kind of want to take a look at the state of the Hyperion and see if it's just kind of. Okay, so it's still flying pretty well. It's not great, but oh well. Looks like we're about to capture this airfield, so I'm debating on whether I want to spawn there. Looks like I won't, though. Yeah, we can take them about as many airbags as we can. We'll take some anti-ship cruise missiles, and then we'll also bring another Jerabot. It looks like we can take some nukes here, so I think I'm going to do that, actually. We'll do this and then a radar Jerabot. I think it's probably the best option right there. So, how many? We have 2 nukes. Alright, that's not bad. Might want to get rid of the IRs, honestly. Oh well. It looks like we neutralized this base for the most part. I'm gonna put a nuke, maybe right there, I think is probably the best option. And then we'll nuke the carrier fleet too. We'll go ahead and take off. I'm not a fan of this camo actually. I usually like to switch to the all gray or all black one. I think it's a little. I just don't like it on the plane. I think it's using. If you're flying a plane, I don't see how this camera would help you at all. I mean, I guess from above it can make you blend in. So that just kind of goes against my idea of like what skills should be, what skills should look like. I mean, in real life, you know, planes are covered in all black or usually all gray or something neutral. Or stealth lovers. And it's crazy too, because you can see the carriers as like. By this time, they should have already been, or like at this point in the game, usually you're like maybe taking out the carrier fleet. But saturation attacks also work pretty well against carrier fleets. It's a really interesting strategy, but it does take a long time. So it's not something I usually like to do. So we're gonna drop a nuke here. I just like don't want them to even be able to respond at all. I already thought we sunk the carrier, and that's another thing too. I thought that nuke actually took care of it earlier, but it is what it is. I mean, what can you do about it? So. Go ahead and deselect both of those. We'll go for the carrier. I think it actually might get out of the way before the nuke gets over there. But looks like data link is kind of bugging out a little bit. Looks like we just have so many vehicles going over to the enrichment plant. That's kind of funny. Hopefully they can take that. I don't think this nuke is actually going to get here in time. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going pretty... That's the one thing I don't like. I mean, I understand why it takes a little bit, but it's just an annoying thing that it does take so long. But that's why they have anti-ship like nuclear weapons too, so I could have used one of those, but oh well. I'm not quite sure what's happening with data link. I don't know why it keeps recording that the ship is being jammed right there, and then the camera's not on. There we go. I'm actually gonna J out right now. The ship has escaped the no escape zone of the place, so I'm gonna put on, I think, some ASHMs and kind of do a dash strat instead. Could use some pile drivers. How many would that be? 4, plus 4. Okay, we can do that. Still like to jam it though, I think. It's been unfortunate that we have to do it this way, but it is what it is. We'll get a good firing solution, kind of slow the time here. This is the last objective that we actually do have to do. Yep, there we go. So, it looks like we actually did destroy the ship too. Kind of interesting that that happened. Looks like we won, so that's what I'm happy for. It looks like it didn't actually get out of nuclear's radiation in time. It looks like this one also didn't this quickly right here. Kind of funny, you can see the internals of it. That's struggling. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think that the nuke would actually do that much damage to it, but yeah, so that's Escalation in one whole hour about. Usually you can do it pretty quickly. I think I could have probably done that in a little under 50 minutes if I was paying more attention, but it's for a video, so but if you liked the video and you made it all the way here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Comment down below any suggestions you'd like, and yeah, And the next video I think I'm gonna do is a full commentary, terminal control one. I know that one kind of tricks a lot of people. That one does. Terminal control is interesting. You kind of have to make sure that you um, aren't letting your ships die out. The ships are going to play a key role in how fast you do it because they'll be able to capture objectives. The last couple of objectives you actually have to do is just like destroy a bunch of or capture a bunch of islands, and that can get pretty monotonous pretty quickly. Because once you defeated the entire enemy, there's nothing they can do actually anymore. So yeah. But in that case, have a good day and